Want more great Griffith Goods and Spirits recipes? Well, hit us up with a like, subscribe, and click that bell in order to be notified for the next family dinner. And stick around on Instagram and TikTok at Griffith Goods and Spirits for stuff like live shows, merch giveaways, and your chance to make it on Griffith Goods and Spirits. We're back! Mitchell Griffith here with Griffith Goods and Spirits, and after taking a week off of our regularly scheduled Halloween episodes in order to celebrate Daniel Craig's very last time as
Bond. James Bond.
with Bond and Beefcakes, I'll put the link to that video in the description. We're jumping right back at it with John Carpenter's Halloween, the film that terrified the masses, and I'm gonna do Mike Myers and air fryers. So join me as I air fry everything.
You ever done anything like this before?
As we always do, let's start with a cocktail. Today, what we're doing is a candy corn martini. And as many of you may know, there's only two sides to be on when it comes to Halloween candy. Those who love candy corn and those who absolutely think it's the worst candy in the world.
The only thing that ever bothers me is their gibberish. When they start raving on and on.
What we're gonna do is we're gonna start off, we already put a little bit of ice in our shaker. I'm just gonna go ahead and hit the rim of our glass with a little bit of simple syrup. And then I've got a little bit of black and orange sugar for our martini glass over here. Just gives it a good, fun little bit of color to your martini. Just gonna go ahead and sit that back down. And then we're gonna start on the cocktail. We've got 1.5 ounces of Honey Bell vodka. It's by Old Dominic's. It's a great citrus vodka. Has wonderful notes in it. And then I'm gonna do 1.5 ounces of our orange juice. I'm gonna do 1 ounce of Dole pineapple juice. Only the best. Going in there. And then what I have here is actually a ginger and brown sugar syrup. Just lock this together and give it a good shake. Totally forgot to add a little to that. Well, and as many of you may know, I'm not always perfect on Griffith Goods and Spirits, so we're gonna add in the juice of half a lemon to this. Toss that over there, lock your shaker in, and give it a good shake. After getting this nice and chilled, what we're gonna do, we're gonna pour this straight into our martini glass. And then what we're gonna do is add a little bit of Rose's grenadine to this. I'm just gonna sink it straight to the bottom there. And then, to top it all off, we've got a little bit of Ready Whip here. Just give it a good shake. And you've got your perfect candy corn martini. Now to dress this up a little bit, we're just gonna add in a few little fun candy corns here. Now that we've got our candy corn martini, the perfect drink for any Halloween party, it's time to start on the air-fried General Tso's.
Don't underestimate it.
Now that we've got our candy corn cocktail done, it's time to start air frying everything. What I've got here is a Japanese mandolin and a green apple. And what I'm gonna do is just go ahead and just try and slice as many of these whole large slices into this bowl. Be careful, because there's more bad stories about a mandolin than there are Halloween movies. So I'm just gonna slice this up and fill up this bowl. And I've got our air fryer here. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and turn this on to 300, and we're gonna fry these up for 10 minutes. After getting as many apple slices out of that as possible, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take our air fryer pan out. I'm gonna take this grate out. That way, we've got a flat surface for all of our apples to sit on. What I'm gonna do is just lay these in here, and we're gonna go ahead and get our apple chips frying up. After placing all of those apple chips into our air fryer pan, what we're gonna do is we're gonna turn our temperature down to 300, and we're gonna set our time for 10 minutes.
You haven't anything to worry about.
While our apple slices are cooking up, it's time to start on our General Tso's. What I'm gonna do is just hit these chicken thighs here with a little bit of pepper and some salt. And the reason that I'm using it bone-in chicken thighs is because I think it retains a little bit more of the moisture and flavor as we're air frying all this up, because the last thing you want to do is have really dry General Tso's. So I've salt and peppered all of our chicken thighs, and what I've got here is just a plastic bag. I'm going to drop all of those in there, and then I've got a tablespoon of cornstarch. I'm just going to add that in, give these a good shake, just to make sure that they're all seasoned super well with that cornstarch, because what that's going to do is it's actually going to crisp up our chicken thighs and make that skin nice and crispy whenever we're frying it up in the air fryer. Now that I've got our chicken thighs prepped, we're going to go ahead and start on our General Tso sauce. What I've got here is 5 small cloves of garlic, and I'm going to make these into a garlic paste. Once you've minced your garlic, what you're going to do is just hit it with a little bit of salt. And what this is going to do is it's going to act like an abrasive. We're just going to take our knife and just push this back and forth, and it'll quickly turn into a paste. Now that we have all of our ingredients prepped, it's time to start on the General Tso's chicken. What I've got here is just some nice rice. I'm going to add in 1 tablespoon of rice vinegar to this and toss it on the stove just to let it season up in this rice vinegar and just get a good coating on that. I've got all of our apples already fried up. You'll know whenever your apple chips are done, whenever they look like this, a nice light tan, but not too dark. You don't want them to be burnt, but you do want them to be nice and crispy. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this grate and put it back in for our chicken, and I'm just gonna go ahead and remove our chicken out of here. It's been seasoning and sitting for about 5 minutes, and so I'm just gonna toss these in here and make sure that they're spaced equally apart so that they can fry up on all sides. We can go ahead and slap these bad boys in our air fryer. We're gonna drop our temperature down to 325 for 20 minutes. Start that bad boy up, and now it's time to start on the General Tso sauce.
What do we do?
Our chicken's frying up right now, and it's time to start on the most important part for your General Tso's, the slurry. What I'm doing now is I'm making our slurry. I've added 3/4 of a cup of our Swanson chicken broth, and then I added a 1/4 cup of our cornstarch. I'm gonna set our cornstarch to the side as we start on our sauce. What I've got here is 3 tablespoons of honey going into our pot. Just try and get as much of this out as you can. And then I'm gonna add in our garlic, our 4 garlic paste cloves going in here. And then I've got 2 tablespoons of our hoisin sauce going in here. I've got 4 ounces of soy sauce. I've got 2 teaspoons of red chili flakes, 1 tablespoon of rice wine vinegar, and I'm just gonna go ahead and mix all this together and make sure that it's super well incorporated. Now we're gonna add in about 3 ounces of our grapeseed oil, and I've got some dried Thai chilies here. I'm just gonna drop those in for a little bit of heat. What I'm gonna do is replace our wooden spoon with a whisk and just whisk all of this together just to make sure it gets to know each other really well. As you're whisking this, you're gonna get some wonderful aromas coming off this. You're gonna get a little bit of the heat from the Thai chilies and the red peppers. You're gonna get some good savory notes from the soy sauce and the hoisin sauce. And you're just gonna go ahead and keep mixing this together until it's nice and heated. You're gonna bring it to a boil. We're gonna turn our heat up to 5. And then, once it hits a boil, we'll go ahead and add in our slurry. As you can tell, it's come to a nice soft boil. I'm gonna go ahead and add our slurry in here, making sure to continually whisk it as we add it. And then I'm gonna add in some final touches to this. What I'm gonna do now is just add some nice orange zest to our pan. You wanna make sure to not add it to a bowl beforehand, because you wanna make sure to get all of that good aroma and flavor straight into your pot. I'm gonna go ahead and just add a little bit of our ginger. We're gonna do about a 2-inch knob into here. As your sauce is starting to thicken up, if you need to loosen it up a little bit, just add in another tablespoon or so of your soy sauce and just keep whisking it together just to make sure that it all combines super well. And it's starting to thicken up really well. So what we're gonna do now is our chicken finished cooking at 325. So what I'm gonna do is start it, air fry at 350 for another 10 minutes. And we're just gonna go ahead and let that fry up until the skin on the chicken is nice and crispy.
As a matter of fact, it was.
I just pulled our chicken from the air fryer and you can hear just how crispy that is. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut the bone out of this and then I'm gonna add it into our General Tso sauce and then we'll be ready to plate up our General Tso's. Just gonna go ahead and make sure that all of this chicken is tossed in all the sauce. Be sure to cover everything with this sauce. I've got our rice down, and so what I'm gonna do is then I'm gonna add on some of our nice little fried apples here to a base. And then on top of our fried apples, what I'm gonna do is a little bit of cucumber and then add on our chicken. After adding on your cucumber slices, you're then gonna take your General Tso's and just go ahead and plate that right up on top. Then to top off your chicken, we're gonna add on just a little bit of green onion for some pop of color and a sprinkle of sesame seeds.
I was told there was nothing left.
We've got our candy corn martini, the perfect cocktail for any Halloween party, and our Mike Myers and Air Fryers air fried General Tso's. And now you're ready for family dinner.
Goodbye, Michael.
Straight in the face. All right. That just went everywhere. It's good. One thing you want to make note of is, like you can see here, I'm gonna make a big old mess with this cornstarch. So don't wear dark colors.